Good morning. Oh my God, it's Memorial Day weekend. I've been up since around 3:30 this morning. Trust me, I almost went live at 4:30. But I was doing other things, and I'm sure my neighbors are not happy because I was vacuuming. Don't give a shit. But anyway, good morning. Matter of fact, I don't think I have neighbors above me anymore. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Selfie Queen, happy birthday. Hi, Drea. Hi, Golden Girls. How are you? Chantel, Gwen, hi, sweetie. Tell my baby I said hi. Hi, Aries. Hi, avoiding eye contact. Christoph, good morning. Um, who am I missing? Who am I missing? Damn it, Mandy. Good morning. Oh my goodness. My goodness. How oh God, how have you guys been? How have you been? Let's see. I've been hearing a lot of disturbing things. I really have. Um, shit. TikTok is on fire. YouTube's on fire. This, Lord have mercy. We're in 2025 and shit has gotten just out of hand over here. Um, Let me see. I think I got everybody. So we know we're going to discuss a little bit of Diddy. We are. So far, there's been 16 witnesses called. And I think when Kid Cudi took the stand on Thursday, oh, he's still cute. Oh my God, Kid Cudi is cute. So um, we went, there for hi Corn's mom. Hi Bambi. Oh Bambi. I have a little one about to wake up, so probably can't stay too long. It's okay, Christoph. Corn's mom, how are you doing? How's your mom? How's your hubby? You did it out, girl. Girl. Everybody's did it out. But I think right now they're trying to tie everything together. I don't know how this is going to go 6 to 8 weeks, but we've already been 2 weeks in. Kid Cudi took the stand. Don Hughes. Um, who else took the stand this week? His ex-assistant who quit because of his compension for beating women. Then there was a hotel, one of the hotel representatives that talked about the baby wall and the candle wax. But Kid Cudi is the one that talked about his car, the explosion, and Capricorn Clark, I think is her name, that called him along with Cassie. And defense says, oh, the DNA belonged to a woman. Well, goddamn, they're already proven he had a criminal enterprise. So Capricorn Clark said she was forced to get and drive them over to Kid Cudi's house. So I'm thinking she threw the Molotov cocktail. Who knows? But they're proving it was a criminal enterprise. Okay. Kid Cudi said that he didn't believe when Diddy said, um, that he didn't have anything to do with it. He said that he invited him to a meeting and he was standing there like a Marvel superhero with his hands behind his back. I just think they're going through now and tying everything together. When Don Hughes was on the stand, everybody's asking, why didn't Cassie leave? Why didn't Cassie leave? Why did these women? But we do know that Gina is victim 3, who defense said Gina is not showing up. So who knows what happened? But this is what Dawn Hughes had to say. And she also testified in the R. Kelly case. She said that trauma bond is but she didn't speak on Cassie. She was speaking about women that go through or people that go through trauma. She says that they bond. It's a trauma bond. And we hear that when people are kidnapped, so it's a trauma bond. She says that it takes victims multiple attempts to leave an abusive relationship. She said the abuse becomes more severe. So with the coping mechanisms, they use a lot of drugs and alcohol, which is what Cassie said she was doing. She coped with everything. She needed ketamine, she needed this, she needed that. So hi, cooking with, Ann, you saw it? Oh my God, you saw the whole unedited version. Hi, Gamecock Jenny. Hi, Marty. Break the silence, they matter. Good morning. It was trauma bonding. And I'm so tired of hearing people saying, well, why didn't she leave? But let's just think about the people that have testified. RICO is a criminal enterprise, and I keep saying this. I think Cassie would have been a co-defendant. Her lawyer cut a deal. The assistant who drove him to do the, when they were going to pull up on Suge Knight, okay, that was a criminal act when Diddy was back in the back seat with 3 ARs, okay, when they were going to Mel's Diner. He had immunity. Think about all these people that they're bringing to the stand. They've given all of them immunity to testify against Diddy. So, people are going, okay, and we'll say this again, he's not charged with domestic violence. They're proving he ran a criminal enterprise. He forced people to do this. He held blackmail over their head. You heard he extorted $20,000 from Cassie's mom, or he was going to release the sex tapes of Cassie. Then we find out that the mother was trying to attack Diddy outside of Cassie's apartment, and it was either Roger Bond or Gene Deal who got in the middle to keep her from hitting Diddy. She never liked him. We saw the pictures of they put the pictures out of Kid Cudi's car. So again, they're proving a criminal enterprise. I said before, anybody that was going to testify, they would have to give them immunity. Now, Gene Deal said he was interviewed, and he stated that, hold on, let me get what Gene Deal said, because this to me is telling. And what he's saying is, at the time, he was a cop when Diddy was saying this shit. So I'm sitting there going, wait a minute. You were a cop and Diddy was telling you all of this stuff? What the hell? These people, but he said he's not testifying. And I want to know, why isn't he testifying? What? Is he scared he's going to incriminate him? Okay, hold on. Let me just stop. Ah, hold on. Let me just stop this so I can. God damn it. My thing is going too fast. I was complaining. Okay, hold on. This is Gene Deal. And he was caught outside the courtroom. And this is what he had to say.
I'm not testifying today. If I testify, he's going to be buried just on the shit he said about Dawn them. He actually, and I heard him, and I was law enforcement at the time. He said, I'm going to drug them and pimp them out.
He was going to drug them and pimp them out. And he was law enforcement at the time. What the hell? You didn't do anything. I said before, Gene Deal is just as complicit as Roger Bond and everybody else that was in that inner circle. Thank you, Christoph, for being a member for 15 months. Sorry.
We had a whole conversation about that shit. But no, I'm not testifying, y'all. I don't think he's going to walk, because you got to understand, the racketeering and the prostitution and those charges right there. Paying prostitution is against the law, and the federal government, that's easy. You know, they got the receipts from that shit. So, no, he's not gonna walk.
So again, he was a big part of all of that. Now, why isn't he testifying? Don't know. Have no idea. But he should be testifying. He should be up on charges as well. I don't believe any of these people should be skating. You put these people hell, through hell, and now you're not going to testify. But Q from day 26 and what's her name? Aubrey O'Day did an interview, and they were on a podcast, and they were saying that Diddy gave Aubrey O'Day a red pill. Was it red or purple? I can't remember. To give to Q to take, and Q was part of day 26, which two of them are supposed to be testifying. Okay. He took the pill. He said the next thing he knew, he woke up. He was screaming in a girl's voice. He was just in his shorts, and people had their phones up. He said he felt like he was being sacrificed. He also felt that he had been SA'd. Now, Aubrey O'Day, who's got so much to say about Diddy, is the one that gave the pill to Q, and she had one for herself. He said within 20 or 30, what did he say, 20 minutes or 20, I forgot how it went, he was knocked out. That's what he said. Now, let me play this one more about Gene Deal. Gene Deal talks a lot, okay? Gene Deal talks a lot. So he's talking about Ken Burrows, who's now suing Diddy, was suing his mother because he said that she took part of the company from him. That's what he said. Okay? Look, that's what he said. Ken Burrows in this lawsuit. And I showed you guys the lawsuit. This is what Gene Deal had to say about that.
People used to think that Kirk Burrows and Diddy was lovers.
I said
they
Ken
had some
Kirk.
kind of relationship like that. Remember I told you that?
I remember that. You told me that years ago.
Yeah, and you said to me, yo, you gonna speak about it? I said, nah, I ain't gonna speak about it, bro. You understand? I'm gonna wait till he speak about it. So people who had known that, I always knew that because I used to follow Puff to Kirk house when we had the building and the red zone, and we used to take the money from those clubs and we had to drop it off at Kirk house.
So you hear this? He's telling you they were taking money from the clubs. So they're money laundering. Now, why isn't Gene Deal testifying? Why? Did he give the government all this information? And we're going to talk about something else real
You
quick.
spending the night at another house and you got a apartment with your girl somewhere else? Okay. So when I seen in the lawsuit that he said that Kirk said that Puff was SAing him, sexually assaulting him, sodomizing him, doing all kind of things to him.
Yep,
I
that's in the
first thought
lawsuit.
like, but hold up, they was lovers, but that's his boss. So maybe the boss cannot have sex with people. The CEO can't have people that work for them. And that's why it becomes illegal. They were saying that people were around that worked for Bad Boy was saying that they were caught in the office in some uncompromising position.
Again, Gene Deal has a lot to say, but he's not testifying. So something else came up. When they showed the unedited video of him stomping Cassie and everything else, it was said that Diddy bought that footage. He paid for that footage. And people are wondering, did the hotel still have that footage? We got to remember, they raided Diddy's homes. They took all kind of videos and audio. Did anybody ever think that that video that he purchased for beating Cassie was in the stuff that the that Homeland Security took out of there? Did anybody ever think that that video was in his collection? Did anybody ever think that? Because I think they got that video from Diddy's house. That unedited video they got from Diddy's home. We heard, what's his name? Israel, whatever his name, said that he recorded the footage on his phone as well. Maybe Israel is the one who's now a cop that gave the footage to CNN. But I do believe they got that videotape from Diddy when they seized all that stuff. Dittler has robbed all of his artists. And, well, we saw what Maze did. He caught him at the, was it Maze or Nas? Nas. He caught him at a studio and had him to sign the release for his rights. He caught him when he went for an interview. Hi, Mustang Sally. Ooh, and damn. But I think Israel don't want to get himself in trouble because he's now a cop. He said he didn't take the bribe. I think he took that money. So it was Maze. It was one of them. I can't remember. The little cute one that still looks like a baby with the little chubby face. He caught him at a radio station doing an interview. Hi, Wendy. Hi, Sweet Potato. Okay, I couldn't remember which one, and God knows I should, because I remember seeing it. Yeah, he's robbed a lot of people. He distorted a lot of people. And now there's stuff about Steve Harvey, which we talked about the other day, and how Diddy took Steve Harvey shopping. I told you he used to date Steve Harvey's girlfriend, but not girlfriend, daughter, but that was like an ATM because he was getting money for Steve because he's blackmailing Steve. And then we're hearing about Steve talking about pizzas, which everybody says pizzas refer to little kids. The pizza boxes. Remember we heard the audio when Diddy was telling his son to make sure that we get rid of all the pizza boxes. Now, what do you mean by get rid of all the pizza boxes? You were talking in code. And then we see a text about Steve and Diddy about pizzas. Are we kidding? Are we kidding? So I honestly thought that's where they got it in the first place. They got what? You thought that they got, I think they got it from Diddy. Yep, he didn't destroy that tape. Think about all the videos, and I know he's probably sitting there cringing with all the videos that they have ceased. Hi, Mr. Jimenez, from his home. Oh my God, guys, you know what? I want to do, excuse me a minute. I want to set a goal. And I never set a goal, and Debbie always fusses at me. So, okay, well, not never. I set goals sometimes I don't. But let's see. What did I see? Heidi, what day of trial is it? So we're on day 9 because they're not in court on Fridays. So is it day 9? day 12. Shit, I can't remember. Because a lot of people are not including the first 3 days of jury selection. But they've called 16 witnesses so far. 16. What? Cozy. What the hell? Hold on, guys. Hold on, I just got a message. Hold on, I'm sorry. Just hold on. Hold on. Just give me a minute. Okay, I have it. Okay, I just got a picture, which I think I've shown this before, but here we go. This is the Astroglide and the baby oil that was seized at Diddy's, okay? Oh my God, thank you for being a member and for 10 months. Mari for 9 months. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hi, Amber. Hi, Mo, is the weather over there. It always looks so pretty when you're out. Oh my God. And I love what you're doing to your deck. Well, not deck. Hi, sweets. Hi, sweetie. So it's and yeah, Pablo, not Paco, Pablo. Pablo be enjoying himself. But it's just crazy. And people are going, again, they're sitting there trying to equate DV with coercion, prostitution, bribery, extortion. You can't. Now, we don't know if the state's going to charge him with anything at all after this case is done with the feds. One thing we do know, the feds' conviction rate, I think, is 93% or 97%. The feds will build their case and then come for you. The state, again, will charge you and then build a case. Now, when Diddy was arrested in New York at the hotel, he had drugs in the room. He had a prostitute up in the room. He had baby all Astroglide. He was getting ready to do another freak off. He was getting ready to do another freak off. Yeah, within 20 minutes, he blacked out. Thank you, Drea. And that's Q from day 26. I couldn't remember I know it was 20 something. See, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You're testifying. Think of the people that's testifying. Now, all of a sudden, we find out victim number 3 is Gina, and she can't be found, which is Diddy's other girlfriend that he had with Cassie and Kim Porter. Blackmail is a federal offense. Extortion is a federal offense. We have arson. He went into Kid Cudi's home, put his dog in the bathroom, opened up Christmas presents that Kid Cudi had wrapped for his family, called him and told him he was in his home. What? And then the defense goes, oh, you both were manipulated by the same person, Cassie. Okay. Yep, he didn't destroy anything. Nothing. So again, I'm waiting. I'm not going to make, because so far I see the connection they're making. I see it. Steve Harvey took out Barino. What? Thank you, Amber. So it's crazy, but everybody keeps focusing on, oh, Cassie could have left. No, she couldn't have. And why are you scared of this man with a little Tootsie Roll? Look at the people he surrounded himself with. Enforcers. Look at the guy that was actually suing him and saying that the same guy that's in prison right now is the one that he threatened him with, who we know he committed murder before. Now, Capricorn Clark is supposed to be testifying in next week to tie everything together that Kid Cudi has said about the phone call he received from her and how she was forced to leave her home and to drive them to Kid Cudi's home. Girl, I don't know if they bought it weekly or if they just, I don't know how they bought it, but they had a hell of a lot of it. They probably bought it straight from Johnson & Johnson. Ooh, she's 11 already? Jesus Christ. The feds don't lose. There were 6 people in the hotel room. Yep, that's when he was arrested. Drea, you don't think that Gina's going to turn on him? And oh my God, I had a picture that I want to show you guys. Everybody keeps talking about Justin, his son Justin. I've showed this picture before, but I'm going to show it again. Justin is not Diddy's child. You can look at the picture and see he is not Diddy's son. He looks like the bodyguard that had an untimely death. Okay, that is not his son. Where is it? Okay, hold on. Let me just pull this up real quick and let me stop. Let me get this and I'm gonna pause it and then I'm gonna put it up on the screen. I want to pause it. Okay, here we go. Let's look at this picture again to see if that's actually Diddy's child. Okay, let's take a look at this one more time. And I was going to post it on my thing, but I changed my mind. Okay, there is Justin. There is the ex-body who met an untimely death. Okay, is Justin Diddy's son or is that his daddy? That's his daddy. There is Justin. That's his daddy. There is Justin. That's his daddy. The only one that looks like him are the twins. They look a little like him. And King, who wants to be just like his daddy, who has charges himself. Well, not charges, lawsuits himself. Cudi said he wasn't scared of Diddy. He said he wanted to fight him. He called him when he got home and Diddy was gone. He said, "Where are you?" He said, let me know where you at. He only has one son. Quincy belongs to LB Shore. That is LB Shore's son through and through. Kim Porter had Quincy before she started dating Diddy. He never adopted Quincy. That's a lie. You have King, who looks just like him, no talent. Okay. And then we have Justin. Yes, Payne. Hi, Payne. Quincy is LB Shore's son. Looks just like him. Hi, Bombs Crafting with Amanda. That resemblance, you cannot say that is Diddy's child. His mother has been going to court, okay? He does look like his mom a little bit. But that's that boy's daddy right there. That's his daddy. Yep, and Big Meech, oh my God. And what 50 did to Big Meech was horrible. That is Justin's daddy right there. Eyes, eyebrows, mouth, look, chin, face. That is his daddy. Well, LB Shore's mom died last week, and they really haven't had a relationship. But I hope Quincy sees exactly who Diddy is. But I think he's been um duped. But all the uh, Diddy raised Quincy as his own. Okay. He didn't want LB Shore anywhere around him. He threatened him. Kim Porter was telling him, just stay away. Yep, he has a habit of collecting people's children. Why do you think now that he's incarcerated, Justin's car, I think, was repossessed because he told him it's time for him to start taking care of his own stuff. But you're still taking care of Christian and those girls. You're still taking care of Christian and those girls. He knows that's not his damn son. He's not stupid. He's not stupid. He knows. He knows. But I'm trying to think what else was good that happened this week. I think that's it. But Capricorn Clark will be taking the stand. Yeah, and I hope he finds out the truth. When LB Shore came right out and said he believes in his heart that Diddy is the one that put him in the hospital. I'm like, woo! And we know LB Shore said he was subpoenaed. And his attorney is working out a deal with the prosecutors. Now, I'm sure he's not getting immunity because he didn't do shit, probably. Yep, that's what he told him. But I don't know if he could have reached out to him. I don't know if he talks to Quincy. But I know that his grandmother, and I know Quincy had a relationship with his grandmother. Now, you don't know what the Diddler was telling Quincy as he's growing up. We have no idea, but we know a week before Kim died or 2 weeks before she died, they were all together. Quincy, LB Shore, Diddler, Kim, and the kids. They were all at some premiere. But we don't know. It's like when parents break up, the mother's telling things about the dad is saying things about the mother. We don't know what was said. We have no idea. But we do know, hi Harlow, welcome back. Hi. What we do know is that LB Shore put the kibosh on Quincy being on Empire because Terrence Howard turned him down. He wanted to get in between those cheeks. And Terrence said, hell no. But Terrence is supposed to be doing a tell-all. Hi, sassy nerd girl. Good morning. Good morning. So, I listen as I'm doing things during the day. I've been listening to T. Harris. He's out in front of the courthouse. Armand is in the courthouse. Misha Tisha, she's inside the courtroom. Miss Knock You Out is inside the courtroom, and they come out. CNN gives you updates as they're going. If you're not following CNN do live updates. They have somebody that's running back and forth. They're doing live updates in the courtroom. So you get the gist of just like being there. You think he was better on Star? Yep. I didn't watch Star. I love Tisha Tales. I don't know why I want to call her Misha. Tisha Tells. I don't know why I want to call her that. But Quincy looks just like his dad, L.B. Shore. Justin looks just like his dad. Christian looks just like his dad. The girls look like Kim. Now the older one, who's the mother for the older one? Because he had the twins, and then this other chick was pregnant damn near at the same time. Star was, see, I never watched Star. BJ investigates as well. Well, I haven't watched BJ, but I know I'm normally on the TikToks. That's why. Hi, Volty. How are you? I hope everything is good. But I'm trying to think what else about Diddy, because I got some shit that I got to talk to you about. And this is some sick shit. Okay? Michelle Holman, the surprise witness, is doing all day updates, and Tisha Tells and make it make sense when court is out. Yes, same thing with Ms. Knock You Out. She's coming out the courtroom. When T. Harris goes in, he comes out, or sometimes he just stays out. But he got a good shot of Kid Cudi when he was coming in. Kid Cudi looked fine as shit, and he's so mellow. Chance, you forgot before the girls. Chance, okay. BJ investigates is a surprise witness. Wait a minute, Michelle. Wait a minute. I thought Gina was our victim number 3. Who the hell is BJ investigates? Is that why she has a bodyguard with her? She has 2 bodyguards. Oh, this is good. No, she can't be. Okay, maybe I'm misunderstanding what you're saying, Michelle. Maybe I'm misunderstanding. I love Kid Cudi. Yeah, Chance was born before the twins. So BJ investigates. That's her other channel. Oh, I got you. I was misunderstanding. You know, I'm trying to read. I get it now. I get it now. I get it now. I was like, wait a minute, what? Look, I get it now. I was trying to read. Okay, I get it. I understand. But I was like, wait a minute. I thought but Gina has disappeared. And even Thursday, the defense team said, Gina is not testifying. Wait a minute. How you know Gina not testifying? What you do? Where you at? Or you got plans? Don't say that. I think Diddy put the kibosh on that. They flat out said, Gina is not testifying. How we know Gina's not testifying when she's already spoken to the government? They can read her deposition into the records. No, that's okay, Michelle. I got it now. I thought you were saying that was I have it now. But how do we know? Gina in Vegas? Huh. Well, Gina done disappeared, and then everybody's saying about how Beyonce, how she and what's his name? The Camel left the country. Isn't Beyonce on tour? Isn't she on tour? Yes, there is, and she doesn't have a lawsuit. She doesn't have a lawsuit. But I want to know, Drea, did you see that footage I asked you to look at? Was that Kimora Lee Simmons that got out that van week before last when they were coming in that black Mercedes SUV? Was that Kimora Lee Simmons? Because God damn, it looked just like her. And why are you riding with them after knowing what he did? I get it. Those girls. you have a soft spot for those girls. Yeah, so she didn't leave the country. She's just touring. But I still, this shit, they're pulling it together slowly, but it's coming into focus. It's coming into focus. Again, I kept telling everybody this case was not contingent upon Cassie. I think Cassie would have been a co defendant if they didn't make some type of deal with her, along with the assistants, two of them that knew what was going on. The one guy left his job. He left his job. And then his executive assistant, she told Diddy the reason why the guy left his job because because of his father's health. No, he left because he didn't want to see any more abuse. And what's her name? Mila Morales, who said that after the Prince part, brick by brick, baby, they are building it. What's her name? Mila, who was the makeup artist. When she said after the Prince party, how Diddy ran over there and where she at and went in there, you heard stuff. You heard yelling and breaking, and then she had knots on her head, a busted lip. She came in. So everything they were trying to cut down is what they're calling these witnesses, and they're building this brick by brick. Okay. George Kaplan, he was an executive assistant to him. He's the one that left his job because he said that wasn't for him. And he was the one that was a driver as well. So, he sent George out to go get stuff for Cassie because she had visible, bruises and stuff on her face. But you've got all of these drugs in the house. You've got all the baby oil, all the Astroglide, but you don't have anything for the swelling and for the bruising that you were causing this woman. Okay, that wasn't her. Thank you. Okay, that wasn't her. I was like, wait a minute. Why is she with the family? I know she loves those girls, but god damn. Exactly. Now, I forgot what channel it was, but they interviewed these people that were out there with these Diddy shirts and free Diddy. These people were being paid $20 an hour. They haven't been out there in the last week. Maybe because of the rain or whatever. I have no idea. But they haven't been out there at all. It was like a crowd of maybe 30 protesters, maybe 20 to 30 that they were paying. Maybe the government put a kibosh on it. I don't know. I have no idea. But they were being paid to be out there. Yep. Well, she said she hid under a tractor. She and a friend for an hour because he was on a rampage. So everything that they were saying, it's coming out little by little. They're building it. And some guy was on Miss Knock You Out yesterday, and he was saying how I was in that chat, and she asked if I wanted to come up. I told him, you're standing with an abuser. You're standing with someone that abused multiple women. That says a lot for you as a man. Same thing I said about Gene Deal. Same thing I'm going to say about Roger Bonds. You all saw what he was doing. And when Gene actually said he was law enforcement at the time, bitch, you know what? Tell me why Gene isn't testifying. Why? Because they won't give him immunity? Probably. Is Roger Bonds going to testify? Don't know. Lil Rod is supposed to be testifying. Don't know when. But I know his lawsuit they're not moving forward to after the federal case is done. So that tells me he's going to be testifying. But anyway, I want to show you this, and this is disgusting. I'm not talking about Diddy right now. Okay. This came up when I was looking at some stuff. He can probably say it about anyone in the business. I saw the party pics. You see a knot. Yes. Yep. So they've been releasing these pictures. Everybody's saying Gene left before Cassie. Well, not everybody. A few people have said that. But how does he know so much about Cassie and telling the story? No, Roger Bond was there doing Cassie. Thank you. Roger Bond was there doing Cassie. But Gene knows a lot that was going on during that time as well. But Roger Bond was there with Cassie. Gene left right when he got with Cassie, right before Danny Kane blew up. Yes, Roger Bond was there. So, guys, this story right here. A couple was jailed after a baby found living in absolutely disgusting home with rotting goat carcass and dozens of animals. Yes, he did, David. He ruled by intimidation, ego, manipulation, money. Exactly. That's RICO. Yep, it's easy for Gene to get in. See, people don't understand what a RICO is. RICO doesn't have to do anything with domestic violence. That is not RICO. They are building this case brick by brick, and they have it. So, let me just show you this. Oh, that picture isn't coming up. So, this is in South Carolina. They were arrested. The name is Kayla Renard and Nicholas Foley. They were taken into custody on Monday. Social services were alerted by authorities to the nightmarish, unsanitary conditions inside their home. This is the home. Okay? This is the home. Okay, this is where this baby was. This is the kitchen. That's the kitchen. Okay? Here we go. See the photo? You see this? You had a baby in here. Look at this. A baby was living in this. Then we're going to see trigger warning. Baby's living here. The goat carcass was in the tub. This is where a baby is living. Oh, look. You got a baby living in this mess. I like those shoes. They're cute. Okay. There's Kayla. There go to Mama. There go Foley. Yep, he had those serial numbers removed. This is the home. Didn't look nothing like that. But they had a baby living inside of that home like that. Let me see. Hi, David. Thank you. Facts. You know what? Let me drop this link real quick because I'm trying to read all of this shit and I can't read it because everybody is talking. He had the AR on his lap with the serial numbers removed. We saw the pictures of the guns that were confiscated from the home. We saw that. So I just dropped the link if you guys want to come up. But we saw all of that. Now, this is living in hell, not mansions and award shows and movie premieres and drugs and booze available. This shit is just sick. But we have also wanted to tell you that what? I want to tell you that shit. What's his name? Oh, my mind just went blank. Darnell Jones. Kamani Latigue's daddy. Yes, There you go. There's trafficking, drugs, and human. And these people were doing it because if they didn't, they would lose their jobs. This is force, coercion, forced labor. Hi, Bonero. Hi, sweetie. So Kamani Latigue's daddy, this week, the prosecutor's team put in 234 pieces of evidence. They have body cam footage. They have Ring doorbell video. They have interviews with family and witnesses. Now, I want to know if that includes that cousin that was supposedly there that night when Kamani supposedly called him and said somebody was trying to break in. Hi, Ruski. And then they have videos from multiple homes and public buildings in that area. So I want to know, what are they going to be showing in court? Hi, Kendra. See, Mari. That's what, you remember, they said he didn't make a deal with the government. He just had to complete this program, and then all charges were going to be dropped. I don't believe that for a fucking second. Do I believe that? I don't believe it. His little drug dealer who would travel with him. Come on. They wanted Diddy that day at Miami airport, at that executive airport. They took him. They had the drugs on board. And the bad thing was his daughters were going to be on this flight too. You don't care about your own damn daughters. Exactly. Kidnapping. Thank you, Michelle. And they wanted the lifestyle. That's what they wanted. That's kidnapping. And Roger Bond stated, Cassie said it on the stand, and Roger Bond in that interview said, yes, Cassie is not lying. I was one of them that took her back. Come on now. We know this man is sick. We know this. But again, his defense team said he wasn't a good person. His defense team said it. He wasn't a good person. But he's not on trial for domestic violence, guys. He's not. He's not on trial for domestic violence. And I think people keep getting all of that confused. He's not on trial for that. Should he be? Yeah, but statute of limitations has run out on a lot of that. A lot of it. Michelle, you are right on point. I'm trying to see, why isn't my mouse there we go. Escape. Why isn't it working? Okay. Let's see. Hi Bonero, how you doing, beautiful? Again, I don't know. So what do you guys think? Do you think the feds are going to get a conviction? Do you think, with the way they're building this case, that they're going to get a conviction? Because he's facing 15 to life imprisonment. Do you think he should have took that deal that was offered? But he thinks he's going to walk away. I'm going to be surprised if he does. I really will. You go run your errands, girl. What was it that had Diddy holding his head in his hands? Were you talking about when Kid Cudi was on the stand? Or were you talking about, because when Kid Cudi was on the stand, he had a sticky note that he slapped on the table, and his attorney turned around and picked it up. I pray they do, but I think, what more evidence? I'm going to have to check out Surprise Witness. But I like when Tisha Tells is up there when she comes out and she looks so cute. She really looks so cute. There you go. They got him. I don't know what people are not seeing. They have him. I'm going to be surprised if this trial goes 6 to 8 weeks without some kind of deal being cut. I will be surprised. He didn't look nervous to me at all. Oh, it was before Kid Cudi. I think, let me see, before Kid Cudi, it was his assistant that was on the stand because Don Hughes finished up. I think it was about the guns. I think it was the guns that were in the back seat. I'm gonna check it out. Star Witness. I'm gonna go check it out and subscribe. Yes, she did. And I like the way she comes back and she gives you, and the way she reenacts it, I was cracking up laughing. She put her phone down and she said, and oh my God. I was like, oh shit. Armand Wiggins, too. He's doing a great job. See, Casey Anthony was state. Once that medical examiner got up there and said that she couldn't tell the cause or the manner of death, that was a done thing. I didn't know Tisha had a weekly column. I didn't know she had a weekly column. She's funny as hell. And this was my first time actually seeing her. And the only reason I saw her because T. Harris was out there and he was showing Tisha. That's the day she had the blue dress on. She looked so cute. And then I just started following her on TikTok. And then I went over to her YouTube channel when she does her updates. She's funny as shit. But Armand, girl, the way Armand be going in and way he be reenacting shit, he's funny to me as well. I like the way he's been doing his recaps of the trial. I really, really do. I like people to come and they give you the facts, and then they're bringing you the important stuff, not all the little this and that. We want to hear the important shit, not all the other bullshit about the baby. I'm so sick of hearing about the fucking baby oil. I am sick of hearing about the damn baby oil. I'm sick of hearing about it. We all know about the baby oil. We know about the Astroglide. We know what it was used for. She does know a lot, and that's what I think somebody been talking. But she did get Kid Cudi to come and talk to her after his testimony. She did talk to Kid Cudi. That's on her channel as well. But I don't know why people think that Kid Cudi was scared of Diddy, because he's not. I don't see anything in that man that tells me that Kid Cudi was scared of him. He flat out said he wanted to fight him. So, yes, the drugs and the eye drops. This man, and it had the purple rocks in it, was not drugs, but it was like the crystals. What? Come on, guys. And then all the names he used: Frank Black, something Lopez. Come on. And then this one hotel said that they needed an extra $1,000 if he was to stay there because they had to put the room out of order until they did a mass cleanup. Girl, I don't know but the rubber ducks. I'm trying to think. Does anybody know what the rubber ducks? Because I don't remember anybody talking about the rubber duckies. But this one hotel is the what's the name of the hotel? The guy was up there testifying that they required $1,000 extra, which is nothing to him. It was an extra. They needed to authorize an extra 1,000. They said to cover any room damages. And I'm like, get the fuck out of here. What, wait a minute. He used, Jackie Starr was her. It was Frank White, Frank Black, and Ryan Lopez. That's what it was. Who's saying Cuddy is a rat? Hi, Coochie. See, let me tell you, the eye drops. I think one of the Isley brothers, his ex-wife put eye drops in his drink, and he had a heart attack, and he died. That was years ago when I was living in Teaneck. Years ago. He just dropped dead. And that's some shit. I don't think Cuddy is a rat. Cuddy was subpoenaed. And he was subpoenaed, I guess, to back up what she was saying. But when they said that the female DNA was on, that took him by surprise. That doesn't mean that Diddy didn't have Capricorn Clark to do it or someone else. And this was after he went to his house for Christmas. He was away. His dog sitter was there. And she called him to say that his Porsche was on fire. That was in January. Now, think about it. That's not a coincidence. He goes to his house in December. Capricorn Clark calls him. Hey, Diddy is he's in your house, man. He's in your house. January, early January. Your Porsche is set on fire. That was cut the rag top. Hold on, let me see. Can I find that picture? Hold on, let me see. Can I find that picture? Cut the rag top. Drop the Mazel Tov cocktail in there. And you're telling him, he said he filed a police report and everything about Diddy breaking in. Come on, guys. Tell me why the cops didn't follow up with that. And if the cops knew it was a female DNA, Cuddy's testimony was very, very good. Hold on. Oh, I got it. Okay, hold on. Let me show you. That was kidnapping. Yes, it was. But Capricorn will be on the stand this week. They got to back up that testimony. This is, hold on. Let me get it. That's Cuddy's car. It went through, that's his Porsche. There it is. Let me take this down. Yep, that's the criminal enterprise. Look at that. That's his car. He said he filed a police report, and if the police knew he filed this report, they knew that it was female DNA. Why didn't they let Kid Cudi know? Why? Because Diddy paid them off. LB Shore said the cops were in on it. Gene Deal said at the time he was law enforcement when he said he was going to drug Dawn and pimp her out. That's what we're going to find out this week, Cooch. Who threw it? She drove them because they didn't know where Kid Cudi lived. They went and forced her, kidnapped Capricorn to drive to Kid Cudi's house. They didn't know where he lived at. She drove him. And then early January, his Porsche, and he was in Connecticut. No, he spent Christmas with what's the name? With Cassie's family. He was at, when his car was on fire, where was he at? Was he visiting an ex-girlfriend's sister? Or was he still in Connecticut? He also said he had been talking to them since. Could be he's been keeping quiet. Probably so. Capricorn is coming. Okay, he said he was going to drug Don Rich. That's what Gene Deal said. I can replay it for you. He said he was going to drug Don and pimp them out. Hold on, let me replay it. Let me get Gene Deal. Hold on. Maybe I misunderstood, but that's what he said. He said Don Richard. Hold on. Hold on. Let me pause it. Let me replay it again. This is what Gene is saying. And he said Don. So let's go. Let me go here. Okay, he was visiting his ex-girlfriend at the time. Well, his ex-girlfriend's sister, I thought he said. Here we
I'm
go.
not testifying today. If I testify, he's gonna be buried just on the shit he said about Dawn them. He actually, and I heard him, and I was law enforcement at the time. He said, I'm gonna drug them and pimp them out.
He said drug them and
We had a
pimp them
whole
out.
conversation about that shit. But no, I'm not testifying, y'all. I don't think he's gonna walk because you gotta understand
Well, maybe
the
it was Danny, maybe
racketeering
it was all
and
of
the prostitution and those charges right there. Paying prostitutions is against the law, and the federal government, that's easy. You know, they got the receipts from that shit. So, no, he's not.
So that's what he said. So he said them and them. She's part of Danny King. Okay. It wasn't just her. He was going to do it to all of them. He locked down. Yes, he did. Threatened them, took their phones so they couldn't talk to their families. I don't think they want him to testify. I really don't. He's been talking for so long. I don't think they would offer him immunity at all. He is a piece of shit. That's what I'm saying, Wendy. The feds build their case. Don't now remember the feds said, well, they didn't say, the news was saying that their case was built on 4 women and one, or was it 1 or 2 guys? 4 women, 2 guys. I'm trying to remember how it came out. They had went to the feds. But they said they've been watching him for almost 20 years. They've been building a case. I'm like, damn. Yeah, he's been singing for years. For years. And I saw your community post. My God. Yeah, he's been talking too much to be a witness. Roger Bond is the one who really hasn't been saying anything until he opened his IG page, what, last year or early this year? I don't know if Roger is testifying or not. But I'm trying to figure out how LB Shore is going to testify when he flat out went on Good Morning America and said that this man is the one that put him in a coma with all his organs shutting down. How you going to go out there and testify now? That's all I want to know. I'm trying. Oh, somebody asked about the rubber ducks. Hold on. Let me see. Can I find? Hold on. Let me go to the Googler and see. Hold on. Let me see about the rubber. I don't remember hearing or anybody talking about the rubber ducks. Diddy. Let's see. What about the rubber ducks in Diddy? Let me see. Rubber. Come on. Rubber ducks. Diddy. Let's see. They found rubber ducks. Okay. I don't know about the rubber ducks. I know they found all the high heels, all the platform shoes. Oh wait, hold on. Let me see. Special agent. Okay, that's when the special agent was testifying. He was testifying about all the stuff they found. Special agent Gerard Gannon, who led the searches of Combs' property, detailed the drugs, the guns, and sex supplies found there. Lord have mercy. They had rubber ducks too. Oh. That's what I'm saying. Why would you be taking drugs that somebody's giving you? But he said him and his girlfriend had tried ecstasy before. And when I said he said, I meant Q. That's what I'm saying. Because the cops were in on it. The cops were in on it. This shit is crazy. The cops were in on it. Oh, but guys, there's an update on the twins too. And hold on. I definitely wanted to play this for you guys before I got out of here. And then we're going to talk about this teacher who was charged with sexual assault. Hold on a second. Let me get hold on. Let me get this real quick. Let me get it. Hold on. And I want you guys to listen to it. This is crazy. Here we go.
Tonight, and the mysterious deaths of twin brothers from Gwinnett County found on Bell Mountain.
So this is the case that's grabbed national attention from the arrest of a firefighter accused of leaking a crime scene photograph to the twins' family, pushing back against the GBI's initial ruling of their deaths being a murder-suicide.
Now the agency is issuing a final ruling. 11 Live's Cody Alcorn is live from outside of GBI headquarters with what we have learned here, Cody.
Jennifer and Ron, just hours ago.
Okay, why are you doing this?
The GBI releasing those findings in which they said that the deaths of Khaidir and Nazir Lewis have officially been ruled suicides, and it appears there was only one gun used. After a 10-week investigation, the GBI has now ruled the deaths of Khaidir and Nazir Lewis suicides. The twin brothers, just 19 years old, were found shot to death on top of Bell Mountain on March 9th. At first, investigators suspected a murder-suicide, but the family never believed that. Here's what their uncle Raheem Bronner told me back in March.
They're very protective of each other. They love each other. They're like inseparable. So I couldn't imagine them hurting each other.
Now the GBI says neither brother killed the other. The family previously said the twins missed a...
So I want you to hear this. Neither brother killed the other. They're trying to say that one brother killed himself, and then the other brother watched him die and picked up the gun and shot himself.
Flight to Boston the morning before the shooting, but the GBI now says only Nazir had a ticket and he went to the airport alone. He never boarded the flight. Investigators say Nazir also bought ammunition used in the shooting and that it was delivered to their Lawrenceville home 3 days before their deaths. Then forensic analysis of their phones revealed internet searches on how to load a gun and suicide rates. The GBI also says autopsies show both brothers fired a gun. But one question remains, and it's one the GBI may never be able to answer. Why would two young men enrolled in spring college courses with plans for the future, two brothers who didn't like to hike or drive outside the perimeter, take a 100-mile trip to North Georgia, climb to the top of a remote mountain, and take their own lives? One after the other with the same gun, meaning one of them had to watch the other die, then pick up the gun and pull the trigger.
Can you believe that shit? Can you believe that?
The question that may forever haunt this family. I did speak to the twins' aunts over the phone tonight. They do plan on releasing a statement in the coming days. They still just can't believe what the GBI has released tonight. As for the GBI, they say that this investigation will be officially closed in the coming weeks.
This is crazy. So, one brother he was going through mental health issues, I guess. He Googled how to load a gun. You drive only one when they said there were two tickets. They both were supposed to be going to. This shit is crazy.
A heartbreaking update there, Cody. Thank you so much. Well, if you or someone you know is struggling.
This is crazy. I couldn't understand. And you watched your brother kill himself, and then you picked up the gun. You picked it up. And you caged yourself too. Yeah, I don't believe that, Wendy. I just can't. That doesn't make any sense to me. But they said they found, he searched it. I'm just like, are you kidding me? So why didn't you just drive yourself up to the mountain? Which brother, who died first? Who died first? Your brother shot himself. Wouldn't you call somebody? And why would you be driving? See, none of that makes sense to me. 100 miles to go to Bell Mountain. None of that makes sense. High pain. I think I spoke to you, but just in case, they're high pain. Okay, let's look at this.
But we begin this Monday afternoon with some breaking news from Highland Park. A former teacher facing serious allegations. 29-year-old Vincent Weaver has been arrested and charged with sexual assault. It's yet another disturbing case of children possibly being preyed on. Thank you for joining us. I'm Glenda Lewis.
And I'm Simon Shaquette. The former teacher arrested was in the fine arts classroom at George Washington Carver Academy. He was also a dance coach there.
Yeah, 7 News Detroit reporter Randy Wimbley joins us live with new information and what families need to know. Randy.
What is going on in Detroit these days?
Hey guys, strangely enough, this teacher was actually on suspension and off the job when the allegations came to light. Police say that the school disciplined that teacher for an incident that happened here in which a sex toy fell out of his work bag.
Why would you be bringing a sex toy to school? Well, damn.
2 weeks later, the student and their family came forward with those allegations. Vincent Weaver seemed unfazed as he was arraigned on criminal sexual conduct charges in Highland Park Monday afternoon. The former teacher accused of engaging in sexual acts with a student between the ages of 10 and 12 years old.
10 and 12 years old people.
Some of them allegedly happening on school grounds.
We understand the seriousness of the charges. My client maintains his innocence.
Weaver was a fine arts teacher at George Washington Carver Academy and also served as a coach of the school's dance team. The school fired Weaver earlier this month. Davion Johnson says Weaver was his younger sister's teacher.
I've been telling my mama for years, like, Ma, he weird, Ma, watch that man. He been my little sister's dance teacher. She was like 6th, 5th grade, and I've been telling.
Savage, where you at? Calling Savage. Hello, Savage. Was this in your district? Savage.
My mama since then, that man weird. Watch him. She ain't believe me. I sent her this morning like, Ma, you believe me now?
We believe there were multiple assaults over multiple days.
Police allege that Weaver groomed the student. He was arrested at an off-site school event on Friday. According to Highland Park Police, the 29-year-old was allegedly dressed in disguise so school staff members would not recognize him.
So we had information that he had choreographed a show that was due to take place at a local college. The event occurred. We knew that the individual really wanted to attend it. However, George Washington Carver staff advised him he should not attend it based on the pending allegations. And he was aware of that, so he took it upon himself to dress as an elderly female and gained access to the event.
Okay, did we hear that? Not only are you messing with 10 and 12-year-old kids, they're not saying boys or girls, okay? But you dress as an elderly female to get into an event that they told you not to attend. Now, if you're dressed as an elderly female, does that mean that he was going into the women's restroom? Does that mean he was going into the women's restroom?
So, Randy, when did the school learn about the incident and when did they take action?
Yeah, well, May 14th, that's when George Washington Carver Academy, the superintendent here, says that they learned of the incident, or rather the allegations, on May 14th. The following day, on May 15th, they say that they terminated that teacher. Now, at that school event, the off-site event in which the teacher had choreographed that dance routine, that's where he was taken into custody after school security recognized him. We have a statement from George Washington Carver Academy, which reads in part, "We have turned all information over to the Highland Park Police Department and are cooperating with the police investigation. Student safety and well-being are our #1 priority as the matter is in the hands."
So why didn't they fire him when the sex toy fell out of his pocket? Why didn't they fire him then? Why? Why didn't they fire him then? Why put him on leave? Why not fire him then?
Hands of law enforcement, we will not speculate as to the outcome of respect for the privacy and due process rights of all involved. Now, Weaver is in custody on a $250,000 bond. He is scheduled to be back in court next week.
All right, Randy, thank you for the live report.
Yeah. Some parents really on edge tonight.
Very much so.
So we've got another teacher. Okay, now we're going to look at the capture of one of these escapees. Oh my God, there's been so many damn arrests made in this. Oh my God, wait a minute. What is this? Oh, hold on. We're going to have to look at that before I get out of here. Hold on. Wait a minute. Okay, let's look at the capture.
Inmates remain on the run.
Hold on. Let me go back.
Escaped inmates remain on the run tonight now as deputies conclude their 6th straight day of searching for the suspects.
And police presence just like this here are spurring up across our area, including in neighborhood.
Now, this was on TikTok. People were out there when they told him to give up, surrender with your hands out. This was on TikTok Thursday or Friday when they had the house surrounded in New Orleans. It was on TikTok. And I was like, damn, they all out there. You have the feds, you have the state, the cops, everybody out there, guns drawn, and people out there with their cameras, just videotaping.
St. Bernard Parish as the search is now intensifying.
Take a good look. These 5 men are still on the run with more than 200 officers on the hunt.
Tonight, we are getting a new look at the moment one of the 5 captured inmates, Corey Boyd, was captured. And elected leaders say that exclusive video given to WDSU highlights the help that Boyd was given during and after escaping jail.
WDSU's Jonah Gilmore is live where Boyd was captured. Jonah, what's the reaction to that video tonight?
Well, Gina Sullivan, that exclusive video I obtained was taken inside the apartment complex you see just behind me. I took that video to District Attorney Jason Williams, and while watching it, he said it's clear Corey Boyd had help. Tonight, he sent a stern warning to anyone who may be assisting these escapees. You too will be prosecuted. This exclusive video obtained by WDSU shows Corey Boyd being arrested inside the Bienville Basin Apartments Tuesday night.
The idea that they are bringing this hell, this fresh hell to your home, to your doorstep, means that they don't care.
Dogs are seen snapping at the 19-year-old escaped inmate as deputies command him to get on the ground.
Someone had to provide that act.
If you're going to escape, why the fuck are you still going to be in New Orleans? Why? Why? You just is dumb. Get the fuck out of there. Because they're looking for you in New Orleans and all your old hunts. And everybody they know that you know.
Access.
They're looking
And
for
that
you.
help, just that bit of assistance alone is a crime.
This video was obtained just hours before 32-year-old Courtney Harris and 38-year-old Corvante Baptiste were arrested on felony accessory charges. State police saying Harris contacted two of the escapees by phone and took them to multiple locations across New Orleans. Baptiste is accused of using a phone and social media
I'm up and down Iberville
to help Corey Boyd get food.
All they're doing is putting you in the line of sights of law enforcement.
Accessory after the fact carries a penalty of up to 5 years in jail, even if the person you're helping isn't caught.
Before you get involved, you need to use good judgment.
Darlene Kazanza with Crime Stoppers says tips about the escapees and those helping them are coming in and being vetted.
They're looking to see what the connections are between the information. They're looking to see how many times a certain piece of information has been received, whether that's an address, whether that's an individual's name.
Both Kazanza and Williams believe more arrests could be on the way, urging anyone who's thinking about helping, stop.
Don't let these men ruin your life.
And tonight, as law enforcement look for the remaining 5 suspects, both Harris and Baptiste sit in the Plaquemine Parish Jail. Reporting live in Treme tonight, Jonah Gilmore, WDSU News.
They arrested 2 employees. I'm not going to listen to Darnell. I already listened to that. But this is the one that we just saw, and I don't know what this is about. So let's listen.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for being with me on this Friday. I wish you all a very happy Memorial Day. But I want to start with a history lesson. As you know, I've been in law enforcement my entire
Lady Red. Oh my God, Lady Red. I saw Juliet, Naked Butterfly went live again, and she admitted, after her friend called her out for being in active addiction, and you can see the difference. She said she had been clean for 6 hours, and I saw Psycho Bunny was up there talking to her, and it's just sad. I really hope she gets herself together. And Psycho Bunny asked her about her kidney disease, stage 4, and if does she have proof of that? So we will see. Thank you, Lady Red.
entire adult life. And there was a time in the state of Florida where the felons owned Florida, where they weren't held fully accountable. And I want to talk about this fellow for just a few minutes. Historically, Eddie Thomas, he's 69 years of age.
Oh, he looks horrible.
And I want
for
to
69.
tell you a sordid history, because when you look at this guy, if you want to see pure evil in the flesh, it's this man.
Thank you, Lady Red.
So let's go back to October 28th, 1975. October 28th, 1975, he was arrested by the sheriff's office for burglary and grand theft, and he spent 14 days in jail, and they gave him 5 years of probation. Then in November 1975, keep in mind, he's on probation. He's supposed to behave. He was arrested by the Winter Haven Police Department for false report of a crime, and he spent 25 days in jail. Did they violate his probation? No. May 22nd, 1986, he was arrested by the Bartow Police Department for burglary and second-degree murder. And here's what happened. He's a cocaine addict. You know, those people want to tell you it's a low-level, non-violent drug.
This man is 69. My dad is 83. And he doesn't look anything like that. Jesus Christ.
Drug, okay? It's anything but that. But he was a cocaine addict, so his wife and 4 children, 2 of which were his, moved out and moved home with their mother. And on this particular day, he went to the house, found out that his estranged wife was there, went to the trunk,
got a 410 gauge shotgun, went inside and shot and murdered her twice with 2 shots directly in front of the.
Wait a minute. I was about to say, how did he murder her twice? Okay, he shot her twice. All right, then. He said he murdered her twice.
Children.
Damn.
Did you hear what I said? He went into the house after getting a 410 shotgun out, shot his wife twice, killing her in front of the children. And then he told the police, well, after he was arrested, I told her I was going to kill her. Now think about this for a second. The horribleness of this premeditated murder. So, but let's go to the arrest. All right. So he shoots and kills his wife. There's a broadcast put out. One of our sergeants notices the vehicle in Winter Haven. He gets the tag number. The tag number checks out. He spins the car around in order to go stop the guy. And he looks, and the car is in flames. And Eddie is coming out of the car fully engulfed in fire. He's burned over 60% of his body. So I suspect at that moment in time that he was going to commit suicide by setting himself on fire because he put accelerant inside the vehicle. But as he got hotter and hotter and started to burn, I guess he changed his mind. So he was taken to Shands and given the very best treatment, and he survived. He was convicted of second-degree murder. Did you hear what I said? Not first-degree murder, second-degree murder, because the felons owned Florida. It was a very forgiving, liberal system to the very worst offenders. So he now is convicted of second-degree murder, burglary, grand theft of a motor vehicle, grand theft of a firearm, and only sentenced to 17 years in prison plus 5 years probation.
Okay, here's the problem there. That's your state. That's who's letting this criminal out. Your state. That's who's letting these criminals out. Your state.
So at that time, you could murder your wife, be convicted of a second-degree murder, get only 17 years, and that's before your good behavior and that sort of thing. Make a long story short, he's released from that on probation, and he's got 5 more years of probation. Then he's arrested in August of 1997 for violation of probation, February 1998 for violation of probation, and in December 1998, he is booked in the state prison for violation of probation and released after 4 years. Now let's fast forward. He's not learned from his criminal evil conduct yet. August 2007, he's arrested for sexual battery with a deadly weapon, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. March 2008, he pled no contest to lewd and lascivious contact with a victim between 12 and 16 years of age. So this sexual battery was to a child, and he pled. He was given 15 years in prison with credit for 1,954 days, which he'd been in the county jail. He was registered as a sex offender. Now let's fast forward. It's September 13 when he actually goes into the system. So in 2020, he's released. He spends what? 13 years of the 15 years, you spend about 85% of your sentence, but he's released. And what happens once he's released in 2020, in 2021, he's violated his probation again because he's not conforming with his sexual offender status. We arrest him again. So in September 2021, he goes back to prison for 2 more years. In 2023, he's on probation, and his probation ends on January 2024. So let me bring you up to May 15th, 2025. He is in a group home in the Dawn Heights area of Eaton Park, Florida. The reason he's in a group home is because he's a sexual offender, and it's very limited where you can leave. There's a wonderful lady that's retired from Department of Corrections who has these group homes for sexual offenders because there's limited areas where they can live. Her name is Mrs. Crump. I want to give a shout out to Mrs. Crump. She does a very good job. Now, make no mistake about it. It's not Mrs. Crump that was Andy Griffith's girlfriend, okay? It's a different Mrs. Crump. But she does a remarkable job because she provides homes for these sexual offenders and sexual predators. She cooperates with us. We know where to find them. Because she's an ex-probation officer, she keeps them in line. So she updates this particular home just shortly before Eddie burns it to the ground. And here's what happened. It's about 3:15 in the morning. And he goes to his roommate and says, "Hey, I'd like a ride into town." And his roommate said, "Hey, dude, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. Go back to bed." So he rolls over and goes to sleep. During this period of time, and I'll call him victim number 5, gets up to go to the bathroom. And he sees Eddie wandering around in the house. He says that's not unusual. Since he got off of probation, he's been a total wreck here. And he wanders around at night. We know he's using drugs again, cocaine. But he sees him just wandering around. So he says, "I go to the bathroom, go back to bed." And he says, "I'm not even back asleep yet till I..."
Why would you be using any kind of drug these days, knowing they're putting Fetty damn near in any and everything? I wouldn't take a pill from my sister because I don't know where she got it from. If it doesn't come out of a medicine bottle. I wouldn't take a pill from, well, I actually took a pill the last time, but it came in a package. So I had to unlock it, and I had to get it because they had it in their purse. But I'm not taking no medicine that isn't sealed at all because you can't trust shit going on these days.
I hear this sound. And this sound sounds like somebody is splashing something. And then I hear a whoosh. Well, we know now he was splashing accelerant in front of every bedroom down the hallway and tried to create a fire barrier so they could not run out of the house. He set the house on fire.
Oh my God.
He set the house on fire with 5 folks in there beside himself.
Damn.
Victim 1 ran through the flames and ended up being severely burned on his hands and feet. He had to be airlifted to a burn center. Victim 2 crawled out the window. Victim 3 ran through the flames. Victim 4 is on a walker. He slipped and fell. He said the floor was greasy. Something was on the floor. He slipped and fell. And the other victims ran back inside to save his life.
Oh my God.
Victim 5 once again said he saw Eddie in the house with a container just before he heard the whoosh. Then the suspect drove off. And that was one of the things that confounded his partner. He said, "Why?"
Oh my God. Look at this house. Y'all keep letting these criminals out.
Why was he asking me for a ride at 3 o'clock in the morning? He had a car. But anyway,
he said, well, let's see. He done raped, he done killed, he done did all kind of stuff. And Yeah, and now he set this house on fire trying to kill 5 people.
Drove off. So the investigation begins. The fire marshal comes and says there's definitely an accelerant. It's an arson. He's burned the house to the ground. He's burned up other people's vehicles. He's created, once again, evil havoc. He goes to the hospital with chest pain.
Years old.
He stays for 2 days. They release him. Hey, you're good to go. He knows we're looking for him. Then he checks himself in to the mental health area of the hospital at Lakeland Regional Health. And he tells them that, you know, I need some help. I've got mental health issues. The dude is just mean as a snake is what's wrong. So anyway, we locate him. We read him his constitutional rights. And he looks at us kind of glibly and said, I'll take that right there. And they said, which right? The one for an attorney. He did not confess. But I point out once again that this man blocked the hallway with fire to try to keep them from getting out.
He's a registered sex offender.
By the grace of God, they all survived. Mrs. Crump then worked with us, and we had to rehome these folks because they can't just live any place, and we certainly weren't going to let them wander around because of their status, but they're still human beings, and we wanted to make sure that we gave them a place to stay while we searched for Eddie. This man's dangerous.
He's sick. He's psycho.
He's 69 years of age. Our goal is that he never takes a breath of air outside of prison. But I want to underscore, he tried to murder five people that night.
And he murdered his ex-wife. And he's a registered sex offender. He should have never come out of prison.
After he sexually battered a child between 12 and 16.
17?
After he murdered his wife in front of the children.
Wait a minute, let's go back. I think he said the child was 16 that he raped.
After he sexually battered a child between 12 and 16. After he murdered his wife in front of the children. How much meaner and dangerous and evil can you be? So at the end of this investigation, we know who did this. We know that he tried to murder others. And I want you to see that he is successfully locked up in the county jail. Certainly Brian Haas, who is a great prosecutor, I'm sure will ensure that he spends the rest of his life in prison. Are there any questions?
Sheriff, what do you think? Oh my God. Okay. Between the ages of 12 and 16, he did sexual battery on a child between the ages of 12 and 16, murdered his wife or ex or, separate in front of the kids. And this piece of shit was still let out of jail. Now, one more thing. Let me get you. Oh, it was a small plane crash. Yeah, but I don't even want to talk about that right now. Yeah, I don't want to talk about that right now. I want to talk about no plane crashes. Oh my God, this is crazy. Bring him out to the wood chipper. So let me show you these two. It's about the New Orleans escapees real quick, and then I'm going to go. I didn't mean to stay on this long, but this shit's been good. Hold on. I had so much to catch up on. Shit. Okay, here we go. Let's see.
Groves is one of the 5 escaped inmates, and he's still at large tonight. It is forcing witnesses into hiding. Ironically, he has a deep connection to one of the most notorious killings in New Orleans history. His grandmother was executed on order of corrupt cop Len Davis.
But today, investigative reporter Mike...
You heard that, right? Wait a minute. His grandmother.
Cop Len Davis.
But today, investigative reporter Mike Pearlstein spoke exclusively to a neighbor who knew Derek since he was a little kid.
Oh, I remember him from a baby.
Gail Slack helped raise Derek Groves on Alamo Street in the lower 9th Ward.
He was friends with my son. He taught my son how to ride a bike.
Slack said she was shocked when several years ago Groves was accused in 4 killings, leading to convictions on 2 counts of murder and 2 counts of manslaughter. Now she's growing more concerned by the day as Groves remains the subject of a massive manhunt following last week's jailbreak of 10 inmates from the Orleans Justice Center. Groves is one of 5 escapees still on the run.
I just hope that if they catch him, they don't hurt him.
She said Derek came across to her as a normal kid, despite his grandmother being killed by a hitman on the orders of New Orleans police officer Len Davis. Derek Groves was not yet born when his grandmother Kim was gunned down right here in front of the family home. But he remembers the site well, including times when it was used as a memorial in honor of his grandmother.
A small child like that hearing how his grandmother was killed by the police. Okay. Yeah, it had a big factor. But he's still my Derek. He's still my baby. I like raised him. He's a lot of people just see the bad side of it.
If you could just give a message to him right now, what would you tell him?
Be safe.
This man is allegedly involved in 4 murders. Not his grandmother's. He was a kid. 4 murders. And you said people only see the bad side of it.
And turn yourself
Mike Pearlstein, WWL, Louisiana.
Now, the family of one of Groves' victims went into hiding after they learned of his escape, and DA Jason Williams said 2 of his prosecutors who helped convict Groves have fled the state. Crime Stoppers and federal authorities are offering a combined $20,000 reward. That is for any information leading to the capture of Groves or any of the other 4 remaining inmates.
So here is
news.
We are now monitoring 2 different jailbreaks in Southeast Louisiana, with the latest one happening yesterday in Amite. One inmate is seen on camera escaping from the Tangipahoa Parish Jail. And get this, it's the 2nd time this inmate has escaped over the past year. Meanwhile, 5 inmates remain on the run from the Orleans Justice Center a week after that breakout happened. Thank you for joining us, everyone. I'm Sharice Gibson, and tonight we have learned another person has been charged for allegedly helping the Orleans inmates escape. Trevon Williams is already an inmate in the Orleans Justice Center. Investigators say he helped with the initial jailbreak. And a woman who allegedly helped 3 of the escaped inmates is sitting in jail on a $1 million bond. And today, NOPD arrested Casey Smith, who's on your screen, after they say she helped them drive around once they broke out. Alyssa Curtis was inside of the courtroom when the judge set Smith's bond. Alyssa, how exactly are they alleging she helped?
Hi, Alyssa.
Well, Sharice, according to the Attorney General's office, Casey Smith admitted to driving some of the escaped inmates around days after they broke out of jail. There's been some inconsistencies with the number of inmates she helped, but today in court they said 3. Her lawyer, though, says that is not entirely true. According to the judge, the warrant says Smith was a co-conspirator with someone who received a phone call from the inmates. We learned that co-conspirator is Courtney Harris, and the 2 are allegedly cousins. The Attorney General's office says Smith confessed to helping the inmates yesterday, days after their escape last week. But Smith's lawyer says the person responsible is Courtney Harris, not Casey Smith. Her lawyer says Smith was simply in the car with her cousin, who got a call and later gave a few men a ride. Smith's lawyer says she didn't know who the men were, but the Attorney General's office says that is not possible.
Thank you. I don't believe that at all. I don't believe that at all.
As these men's faces were plastered all over national news. Again, the AG's office says Smith confessed to allegations that happened yesterday. I do want to point out that Courtney Harris was arrested Wednesday. The judge again set her bond at $1 million. Sharice.
All right, Alyssa, thank you so much. So every minute counts as this massive manhunt continues for these 5 fugitives. Derek Groves, he's 27 years old, and he's accused in 4 killings and convicted on 2 counts of murder and 2 counts of manslaughter. Linton Van Buren, he's 26. He's accused of 2nd-degree murder. And then there's Leo Tate, 31 years old and facing multiple gun and drug charges, plus burglary. Jermaine Donald, who is 42, he's the oldest of the group. He is awaiting trial for 2nd-degree murder. And now a jail maintenance worker is charged with helping them get out. That is Sterling Williams. He's 33 and admitted.
But Sterling said, at first he said that he thought he was fixing a clogged toilet. I want to know about the person that was in that control room who happened to be going to dinner and no one took her place. Really?
To assisting the inmates, and he told investigators he was threatened by a stabbing by Antoine Massey, who was also one of the escapees. But Williams' attorney denies that claim. Massey was jailed in March, accused of car theft and domestic abuse by strangulation. We have a new look at the first 7 days of the jailbreak with a detailed timeline as victims, witnesses, and even prosecutors are forced into hiding.
We're going to see what happens. But the problem I have here is, here's the pictures. The problem I have here is that
we are now on day 7 of the manhunt for the escaped inmates who broke out of the Orleans Justice Center. 5 of them remain on the run. Thank you for joining us. I'm Sharice Gibson.
And I'm Katie Moore. As that search continues.
These pieces of evidence tell a story.
And the DA had to make the call. District Attorney Jason Williams said the sheriff's office hadn't requested
hours to report it. So anyway, that's all we have. Let's see. That's all I have today. I'll be here tomorrow with Debbie, but I definitely wanted to come live. And I don't know, I have a lot of stuff to take care of today, but I might do a members only because I've been looking and receiving shit. Well, not receiving shit. I've been getting community posts. Well, I have received. Let me not say that, because I have gotten a few community posts, and I was listening to a live that really bothered me. So I will be back. Like what happened to my cousin. He's a good guy, very funny, but he had troubled childhood and went the wrong way. Girl, please. You know what? My cousins, I'll tell you in a heartbeat. My cousins are most of them are fucking criminals. Okay. I'm not going to say they were good. They were badass kids. So they're badass criminals. 2 of my nephews. Well, one is really lovable. But he's a fucking criminal. Come on. Thank you. But I'm not going to. No. I showed my cousin's arrest on my live when he killed the woman in New Orleans and they caught him in Tennessee going to his brother's house. Okay, Cooch is going live, guys. She's going to her car. She's going to take us on a drive. Can you guys drop Cooch's link for me in the chat, please? Get it real quick. It still comes up as dirty bitch, but hold on a second. Let me grab Cooch's link real quick, and we're going to go through a drive through upstate New York. Dirty bitch. Yeah, you still come up as dirty bitch. I know you changed your channel's name. No, Cooch. Cooch, you're not coming up. Let me see if Coochie 420 comes up now. Coochie 420. Hold on. Yep. High Times Cooch. It took your name change and still comes up with Tragedy and T. She still comes up with Tragedy and T, but not you. Huh. Okay, let me drop Cooch right here. Let's go into High Times with Cooch. Hold on. Let me drop Cooch's link. And still comes up as Tragedy and T. Okay, that's Cooch right there, guys. See, if I go into cooking, it won't come up. If I do Tragedy and T with Ann, it comes up. And that's crazy. Tragedy and T with Ann. If I go cooking and crime, it will not come up. Thank you, guys. And let me see what else. And your community tab. Jesus Christ. Oh, Ann's going live tonight. Wait a minute. Okay, Ann, are you going live tonight? Is Ann still here? Because I see, thank you for sharing it, Ann. I appreciate it. Ann says live tonight. So I guess Ann is going to be live tonight. But that Walmart one, my God, I was cracking up. Thank you, Sweet Bomb. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Coochie is heading to her car. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it. And I'm going to get back to my morning coffees. I promise I will. I've just I had a lot of stuff that I had to take care of, and I had to travel to do some of it. But I will see you guys really, really soon tomorrow. And it's Memorial Day weekend. Be safe out there, everybody. Bye. And I'm out of here.